What's up, guys? It's your favorite life coach, Tonya Williams, helping you become the best version of you. So, God can't bless who you pretend to be. This is going to be a good one, y'all. Psalm 51:6, you desire truth in the inward parts. We show up polished and powerful. The version of you you're trying to maintain for people is blocking your deliverance, okay? God only anoints our true, authentic self, all right? So if you're new here, hey girl, hey, welcome to my channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and send to another bestie who needs some accountability and all the bells and whistles, okay? So I'm your accountability partner in this season, and we're going to get ourselves together, okay? We're going to talk about how to be authentic, because again, like I said, God only anoints our true authentic self, and many of us struggle with that, especially in a world of Instagram and social media where that aesthetics has to be pretty and pleasing and all that. So I want to encourage you, repent for the people pleasing, okay? I used to do that all the time. I used to be afraid to say no because I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But your girl is tired and she's getting older, okay? Not old, older. I'm more seasoned and I've got more wisdom. Always pray for wisdom and knowledge. But I struggled for that for so many years. I didn't want to tell people no because I wanted them to be happy. Not like necessarily to like me, but I just didn't like to disappoint people. And that is the biggest bondage, child, that I have ever been in. And it took me a long time to say no and to learn that no is a complete sentence. Now, I know you've all heard that time and time again, but let me just reiterate that. You don't have to tell them, no, I can't go because, or, well, I would, but I got this. It ain't none of their business. It ain't none of their business. Just no. And if they ask, because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. That's it. You don't have to tell them anything else. Guarantee you, if you tell them because you don't want to, they won't ask you nothing else. I guarantee you that. So, in this season, let's just get more comfortable with pleasing ourselves, okay? Don't spend your whole life trying to make other people happy because you'll only make yourself more miserable. Build your brand around truth and not trends. In this season, I want you to just, step into your true authentic self and do what you love to do, okay? Because we're exhausted from doing purpose without boundaries. Our burnout's not holy when we're disobedient and we're just doing it to please everybody but God. True story. So one time I used to serve at a church. Y'all, I served on every team till I figured out what it was I wanted to do. I knew God was calling me here, but I still thought, well, let me try to be on the everything but the praise team. I can't sing worth a hoot. I sound like a cat caught in a motor, but I love to do it. But I was on the welcome team. I was a greeter. I was on the social media team. I was on the finance team. I counted the money. I was the pastor's assistant. And I thought I was doing all that to please God. I wasn't, because I was miserable. And I was complaining. And it got to where all I was doing was working. And, now I realize I was serving man and not God. So, a lot of us, what we don't realize, we get burnt out doing things, even though we feel like we might be walking in our purpose, but even purpose has to have boundaries. In Mark 1:35, Jesus withdrew to a quiet place to pray, all right? We can't say yes to everything except rest. Been there, done that too. I still struggle with that. I feel like that sometimes I say yes to things that I don't want to say yes to. Now, don't get me wrong. I've gotten a lot better. My no has quickly and strongly become no. And like I said, because I don't want to. But there is from time to time I do, kind of backslide and I'll agree to do something. I'm one of these people who will agree to do something, and then when maybe a few weeks in advance, and I think at the time, oh yeah, that'd be really good, knowing good doggone well I'm an introvert and I like to stay at home and I don't like to be bothered by people, and I can only people so long, and then when the time comes I'm like, ugh, why did I say I would do this? I knew when they asked me I wasn't going to want to do it when the time came. So save yourself a lot of anxiety and anguish and just tell them no. Straight up, no. I'm not going to do that. You know, overcommitment, that's not obedience either, right? So, again, I'm not ever going to tell you what to do without telling you how to do it. So, some things that you can do in this season is to create a no list for the season. Like, what's your you know, that's a non-negotiable for me. What is it? You know, okay, like, here's a couple for me. Don't call or text me after 9 p.m. because I ain't going to answer you. You girls in the bed. I get up at 4 to get ready for work every day. So you're not going to get a response. Don't try to Jew me down on my services, because unless God, in this season, unless God says you're my assignment, I don't know what to tell you. Call me when you get it, or I do you a payment plan or something like that. But you got to have strong non-negotiables, okay? Peace is a hard no for me in this season. Like, you ain't going to rob my peace. Peace costs too much. I'm not going to lose no sleep over you. If you're messy or you rob me of my peace, then I'm just going to separate myself from you, okay? So these are kind of some of the things that you can do. Schedule rest like you schedule ministry or whatever you do. You schedule that job 9 to 5 and go to it, right? You got to do the same thing with rest. Sundays, baby, don't bother me. Sunday is my day of rest. Not because it's church day or nothing like that, because I have to replenish going into the whole next week. So Sunday is my day of rest. I try to lay up and do Nathaniel. You heard me? Nathaniel. Nothing. I try to lay in my bed as long as I can possibly lay there now. Again, I'm getting older, so my body's on a timer, and I just get up naturally at 5, 6 a.m., even on the weekends. But I take my dogs out. I go make me some coffee. I hang out with my iPad and chill. I might scroll on the old tickety-tock a little bit, find me a good movie. But the rest of the day, your girl ain't doing nothing. She ain't even cooking, all right? I don't want to go out to get nothing to eat. DoorDash that junk, okay? All right. You know, and then make a margin part of your spiritual life. Like, get in that word. Make sure every day. This is how you're going to stay grounded, y'all. Get in that word. I don't care if you got to listen to your Bible app. If you can't physically get into your word, listen to a sermon, get in that Bible app, get you a devotional, listen to a Christian podcast, something like that. But y'all, we got to have boundaries, yo. We got to rest, and we got to stop being people pleasers, all right? All right. Now, see, that wasn't so bad. That didn't hurt that bad. But I hope that helped you a little bit. It pushed you and it nudged you. Maybe it was confirmation for some of you that, okay, in this season, I've got to, you know, slow down. I got to stop people pleasing. You know, I got to be my true, authentic self. You know, God already knows what he's dealing with, right? Like with me, I talk about all the time, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. Okay, am I proud of that? No. But that shows you that I still got some areas that I need to work on. Now, I'm not an avid cusser where I just cuss you out like I used to, okay? But I do, you know, throw out a cuss word here and there every now and then. So, you let me hit that baby toe on the couch or something, I'm going to shame Jesus today. But he already knows that about me, y'all. He knows I talk to him all ghetto, and I'm just like, God, you see how he's talking to me? You going to let him talk to me like that? He already knows what he's dealing with. So stop covering it up. Stop trying to sugarcoat it. Like, God already knows. He made you. He made you that way. So stop trying to be perfect and make people think you're perfect just because you go to church and this and that. Y'all, some of those people at church are going to be the first ones to bust hell wide open because they're living a whole lie. Okay? Now, that's just my opinion, but been there, done that. I ain't got nothing against church or church folk, but I will say church folk can be very phony sometimes, okay? So just be true to your authentic self. Embrace those things that you know you need to work on. That's how you relate to people. And, you know, it also lets people know that, hey, just because I'm saved, I'm not a saint. I haven't forgotten how far God's brought me. And he's had grace over me. And, you know, the only way we're going to have it all together is when we're 6 feet under, okay? like, use this time to, hey, just walk in your truth. We all have things that we need to work on, so don't stress over those things. As God moves us along, he'll point out what we need to change and what we don't need to change, okay? He may send somebody and say, hey, I saw that you struggle with this, maybe you need to cut back or whatever. Take that word to the Lord and see what God says about it to you, okay? That's all I'm going to say is, because I've had people tell me, well, your marriage is unequally yoked because your husband's in the entertainment industry and you're in ministry. I had to take that back to the word, to the Lord, because I could not just receive that word, because God didn't tell me that. You say he might have told you that, or that's your opinion or whatever. But my husband's been rocking this way for 24, almost 25 years. God didn't tell me he didn't send him for me. So that's all I'm going to say. When somebody comes to you, make sure you take that word back to the Lord and ask him before you receive anything, okay? All right. I'm here just to stretch you, grow you, and help keep you accountable and help you become the best version of you. So make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and adjust your crown and be the best version of you.